Okay, I've been wanting to do a presentation on online scams for a while now. These are, of course, those scams that are accomplished over a computer, maybe your cell phone, some sort of other internet, social media platform, things like that. They're pretty common right now, and the amount of money that the bad guys can take is pretty significant. A large majority of these online scams are being perpetrated by folks outside of the country. Uh, they're very, very hard to follow up on. They're very difficult to track or trace. Most of them that I found them to be Cameroon, Africa, Malaysia, India, Kazakhstan, places like that. So, of course, I have no law enforcement authority in those countries, so very difficult to follow up on. The biggest thing for folks to avoid becoming victims of this is just, I don't mean this in a demeaning way, but common sense. We have to really establish some knowledge, which, presentations like this may help you to acquire knowledge. And then just scrutinizing, the information that's coming to you. So online scams and frauds. The big ones are the IRS scam. The IRS guy, sometimes they'll call you, but you'd be surprised. The phone numbers are generally coming from like a computer based system, like a Skype or something like that. But anyhow, say the IRS calls you or sends you a text or sends you an email, whatever it may be, and says, hey, you owe us a bunch of money, or we found that you've been committing fraud. You need to contact us right away. If for some reason you decide to continue on with that, which I hope you don't, you end up speaking to Agent Smith. Funny enough, they never pick a really cool name. You talk to that Agent Smith, and now all of a sudden, Agent Smith is trying to convince you to go down to CVS or Save On and buy a Green Dot card or an iTunes gift card or some other kind of prepaid card so that you could pay your debt to the country. It's ridiculous. There's no way in the world anyone should be convinced that they should use a prepaid gift card of any sort to pay a government debt or some sort of fine. Okay, so the first thing is, if they ask you to do that, just know that it's nonsense, that they are going to steal that card number from you, and I'll explain how they do that. And unfortunately, I'll probably never be able to catch them. Okay, so we have the IRS, Social Security. That's a big one, especially for our older folks, right? Social Security scams. Oh my gosh, your Social Security payments are going to be suspended because we found this discrepancy in your account. You need to contact us right away and pay this fine or levy or escrow, whatever nonsense they give to you. And what I need you to do is go down to Save On and buy some gift cards. They may sometimes actually try to still have you wire transfer funds. Don't do that. There's a particular way, if we ever are really in a situation where we owe money to the IRS or whoever, there's a specific way we pay them, usually by check. Funny enough, the check made out to IRS or Social Security. Okay. Another really big one right now is public utilities. Different, whatever the agency is. I work for the city of Riverside, so some of the crooks may have figured out, I'll just say I'm from the city of Riverside utility department, and your power is getting ready to get shut off right now. We have a work crew literally down the street. He's going to shut down your power unless you make this payment right away. If you run a business, that could be substantial. Or if you're an elderly person with equipment in the house, whatever it may be for your care, that could be a big thing. So yeah, I need you to run down to Save On, get a Green Dot card, give me the number. Okay, that is not the way we do it. The city of Riverside and no other public utilities would ever accept payment that way. Okay, and we never have a crew just down the street waiting to shut off your power. There's a process, a due process, as it were, to go about doing that. generally you're going to receive a letter. Okay? Jury duty, that's another big one. This is Officer, or I'm sorry, they may say Sergeant Smith or Lieutenant Smith with the Riverside Sheriff's Department, and you missed jury duty last month, and there's a $350 warrant out for your arrest. We have deputies, excuse me, we have deputies on their way. They're going to come get you any minute now. So what I need you to do is go to Save On and get a Green Dot card. Don't do it. Don't go to Save On and get a Green Dot card. Again, honestly, I know this is probably bad for me to say, but I don't know of anybody who's ever been arrested or had a warrant put out for missing jury duty. I'm sure it happens, but I've never seen it. There's a process that goes with this. We're going to contact you. We're going to try to give you all the methods to basically adhere to the law as we can. We are never going to ask you to go and send us a payment. That's ridiculous, okay? So anytime you get any of those sort of calls, texts, emails, anything like that, please ignore them. You could call the police department, you could call the sheriff's department, wherever your jurisdiction is, and let them know. That way you have kind of a little bit of a record saying, hey, I reached out, I tried to check on this. That way, if in an evil parallel universe, this is, a legitimate thing, which I can pretty much tell you it's not, at least you have that record showing, hey, I made an attempt to contact folks and to see if this is real. And you can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Now with the COVID pandemic going on, stimulus checks, things like that, the crooks are using that now. Oh, hey, we can't send you your stimulus check unless you pay this back fine or back taxes or whatever it is. Go down to Save On, get a Green Dot card, give me the numbers. Don't do it, okay? Funny thing about these prepaid cards, here's what the crook will do. If they've contacted you by phone or email, they'll say, hey, call me. And you may actually be talking to a real person. Well, the person is a crook. And then they'll say, okay, you cannot hang up the phone on me. If you hang up the phone, I'm going to have my agents go down there and scoop you up right away. Well, that probably isn't going to happen. I've never done that in all my time as a cop. But what they want you to do, they want you to keep you on the phone so you don't call anybody else to check. That's reasonable. If I ever call someone and say, hey, you know what? You've been named as a suspect in a crime. I need to get some information from you. And they go, well, how do I know it's you? I'm going to give them about a dozen different ways to verify who I am. I'm going to tell them, okay, I appreciate you doing this, and it's a good idea. I'll never yell at you or get mad at you for checking on me. You don't know who I am over the phone. So I'll say, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call our non-emergency dispatch line for the Riverside Police Department. You can check it yourself, but the number is 951-787-7911. I want you to talk to a dispatcher and ask the dispatcher if you have a detective, Brian Money, that works for the Riverside Police Department, and they could confirm my badge number, they could confirm what my phone number is, all of those things. I want you to check, okay? I would never get mad at you for not trusting me over the phone initially. I want you to check, okay? So if these guys are getting mad at you saying you better not hang up the phone, that's a clue. There's an indicator right there. They're trying to keep you on the phone. They don't want you checking their story. So they get you to go down to the store. Then they say, hey, so I want you to pick 3 prepaid gift cards for $300. And then when you go to the teller, they may ask you what they're for. Yeah, the tellers now have been trained. Hey, I have to ask you, what are these for? Especially if you're an elderly person. Oh, I want you to tell them, you just tell them it's for a birthday. Well, there's clue number 2. They're basically telling you to lie. Now a police officer, an alleged police officer, is telling you to lie about the reason you're getting these cards. That's a problem. Once you purchase the cards, they're going to say, okay, now I need you to confirm that you got the cards. So I want you to turn the card over where the numbers are, take a picture of it, and then text it to me. Well, guess what? Now they have the numbers of the cards. Now they have all your money. Okay? There's no way I could get that money back. So this is the way these crooks are committing these online scams. Again, most often, if it is a legitimate thing, we are going to send a letter. I would really encourage you to verify that letter. Say the letter says it's from the IRS, the Riverside office. I would contact. I would not use the number that's on that letter. I'd actually get on Google or look in the yellow pages or white pages and look up Riverside office IRS. Call them up, validate it, verify, always. Okay? And just don't send any darn gift cards. These things are really hard. Don't give them your credit card information over the phone until you verified, okay? Again, if they say things like don't hang up, if you hang up, we have officers down the street, that's a clue, all right? So anyhow, those are some of the online scams. I want to talk a little bit about the extortion scams we see coming up right now. You may get an email, you may get a text from some person, and they say, oh, I'm really sorry to send this to you, but I've been monitoring your online activity, and I know what you're up to. They remain very vague. I know what you're up to, and if you don't want the humiliation of me sending all these sordid details to law enforcement and all of your friends on Facebook and social media, then you'll need to pay me $1,200, $2,000, whatever it may be, usually somewhere around there. But you have to pay them in Bitcoin. That's always the thing. Bitcoin is a dark currency for those of you who don't know. It can be difficult to trace, which is why they like to use it. It's not really a real currency, and I know a lot of people would argue with me over that. But as far as currency goes, it's just kind of pretend money that's valued at what you value it at. Okay? So anyhow, that's a type of extortion scam. If you get it, maybe you did accidentally open up some weird site one day. It's not against the law unless you're doing something really horrible, terrible. And if you are, answer up for it. But the problem with these extortion scams is they're going to keep hitting you most often. So anyhow, try not to fall for that. A variation of the extortion scam is the sextortion scam. We literally call it sextortion. That's for those folks that may like to get on the little dating apps or social chat apps, and then all of a sudden you meet someone you like on that app, and you guys exchange email addresses or however it is you would connect. And then perhaps you start FaceTiming each other, video chatting, and the other person convinces you to do something naughty, and they do something naughty, and everyone's doing stuff naughty. Now this is two consenting adults, unless you've for a fact know this person to be under the age of 18, then you have a problem. But if you believe that this person is over the age of 18, it's just two consenting adults doing naughty stuff on the computer. Yeah, okay. It's free world, right? Free country. So when it becomes a problem is when after that, now the person has captured the video of you doing the naughty stuff and then sends that video to you and says, hey, look what I got. I'm going to send this to all your friends and family unless you pay me $500, $1,000. I have all your social media contacts. Well, I would advise that you don't send them anything. It's one of those things that, I would hope you try to avoid putting yourself in that position. But if you choose, I doubt very much that they're going to send this stuff out to all your social media contacts. You almost have to look at these people like business folks, even though they're crooks, absolutely. Generally, they're gonna just go to the next person that will fall for it. If you just cut them off and shut your social media down, whatever you have to do, to lock this person out, then I would do that before I pay anybody. Because the payments, as with any extortion, the payments are going to tend to just continue and continue and continue. So please avoid that, okay? There have been some really interesting business extortions or company extortions. We've been seeing a few of these pop up. The poor little cashier or fry person over at Carl's Jr. or McDonald's gets a call. Just a random call from outside. They pick it up because maybe the manager's busy, or maybe there's an assistant manager, let's say. And all of a sudden it's some random person on the line. Hey, this is Joe Smith from McDonald's corporate security. Hey, we believe your manager is stealing money and is doing all sorts of stuff. So here's what I need you to do. We need to get a proper accounting of all the money that's in the cash register. So I need you to take all the money out of the cash register, put it in a sealed bag, and we're going to have one of our corporate folks out there to pick up the money from you. Sounds like, why would anyone fall for that? But you got to remember, a lot of these folks working at these fast food places or restaurants are just kids. Maybe their first job ever, and they don't have a lot of experience with this sort of thing. So anyhow, I would encourage all of our business owners to talk to their employees, send a memo, whatever you have to do, and just let them know, hey, if you ever get a call from someone who says you need to take money out of the register and because they suspect some sort of crime or investigation is going on, and take it outside, don't do it. It's a scam. They're trying to steal money from us. So avoid that. What's really interesting is these crooks will multi-layer these scams. So you would think, okay, this guy that's coming to pick up the money, there's your crook. Just run out and arrest him. Sometimes it's not that easy. They may call some poor delivery service driver or just some random dude that they say they've employed, and he'll go out there and collect this stuff and mail it off to whoever they ask for 5% commission, whatever it may be. Okay, so we just want you guys to avoid that. If you ever get put in that situation, please call the police. Please let your management know right away. It's the right thing to do. No one could ever hold you accountable for doing something that's right or proper to do. Okay? Let's see. We've talked about the Bitcoin extortions. The last thing I'll mention as far as like online scams, we live in a day and age now where we just get so much of this stuff. On any one day, I probably get 100 emails, easy, and then probably another 20 texts. You always get those from FedEx or UPS, and you're like, oh, yeah, I didn't order anything. Why am I getting a FedEx package? It says here, click this to verify delivery. Well, I didn't order anything, okay? So be very careful about opening unfamiliar attachments. A lot of times the crooks will do this to load a virus onto your machine, whether it be your phone or your computer, your any software you're running, any social media you may be running. But they're going to try to gain access to it by some sort of virus, usually a hidden virus, where they can monitor your key log entries, all sorts of things. So if, one I see quite a bit on Facebook, I'll get messaged, oh, hey, check out this video. Is this you in it? And it's from some random person I haven't maybe talked to in about 20 years. Usually what I'll do is I'll hold off even, I absolutely will not click the attachment, but I'll wait. Sometimes I'll wait an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. And then what I'll do is I will go to that person who sent me the message. I'll go to their Facebook page or whatever it is and hit just a regular Facebook page. And then you see it. Hey guys, I've been hacked. Please don't open any attachments from me. Okay. I don't think there's any exigent reason for you to open up an attachment right away. So kind of the way I feel is let it sit there for a while. Yeah, there have been times, maybe one time out of 100, where it's been a legitimate attachment, but let's check, okay? Let's make sure we're being vigilant. That's the biggest thing. So anyhow, I won't drag this on too much, but I wanted you guys to get some ideas on how the bad guys are out there stealing money, and hopefully ways that you can avoid being a victim. All right? Thank you very much.